Are you thinking about marrying someone in the military? A soldier, airman, marine, or sailor? Shut up, Coast Guard, you don't count. Neither do you, Space Force. Having a good marriage can be tough in itself, but marrying a service member comes with a unique set of challenges. Here are some things you should consider before you tie the knot and get started on your TRICARE benefits. Are you ready to spend time apart? It's not uncommon in the military for a service member to go away for days, weeks, or even months at a time. Whether it's for a field exercise, attending training for professional development, or deploying overseas. If you're a dependent spouse to a service member, you may need to hold things down at the home front during those times. That includes taking care of the house, car, kids, pets, etc. without your spouse around, and still maintaining a relationship with your spouse. If you don't think you'll be able to handle that, marrying a service member may not be for you. Is your service member the type to cheat on you? With all that time apart, it's not hard for service members to find the time to do things while they're away from you. Heck, people have been known to get nasty in porta-johns. You should ask yourself if your service member is someone you can trust to not betray you, even when left unsupervised. If the person you're about to marry has cheated on you before, you should consider the possibility they'll cheat on you again. Are you the type to cheat on your spouse? If you're the type to get lonely when your spouse is gone, and you go running off to fool around with Jody, you should do everyone a favor and stay single for the rest of your life. One of the most brutal forms of betrayal is for someone to suffer through fighting a war for a year and come home to find their spouse has been sleeping around. So, if you're the type of person who would cheat on your spouse, please stay far, far away from anyone in the military. In fact, I hope you're destined to a lonely and miserable life. What kind of vehicle does your service member drive? The car a person drives can tell you a lot about that person. Does your service member drive a Camaro, Charger, Mustang, or other expensive vehicle? If so, do they have anything left of their paycheck after making payments on it every month? If your service member is the type to buy a brand new muscle car with 0 down and 26% APR, you can expect to have some difficult conversations about money when you're married. Are you okay living in the middle of nowhere? You don't always have a say where you live when you're in the military. That means spouses can't choose where they live either. As it turns out, many military bases are located in the middle of nowhere, away from cities and civilization. If you're a complete city dweller, you might have a hard time if your service member gets assigned to places like Minot Air Force Base, Fort Polk, or 29 Palms. Then again, you may also get to go to cool places like Germany, Japan, or Hawaii. So, you should ask yourself if you're ready to gamble on where you'll end up living with your service member. What does your service member look for in a partner? Consider looking at your service member's past relationships. If they were previously married to a stripper or someone who clearly had nothing going for them beyond their looks, you may need to take a step back. The person you're about to marry might be someone who can't see beyond a person's physical attributes when looking for a partner. They might be the type of person to not appreciate you for who you are on the inside. Is your service member a bit too wild? Have you ever caught your service member eating crayons or licking windows? Does your service member serve MREs at dinner dates? If so, you should exercise caution. Your service member may be special, or a Marine. Same thing. Does your service member's medical remedies seem a bit off? Does your service member think Motrin is the remedy for every ailment? That it's normal to get an IV after a night of drinking? And or 100-mile-an-hour tape is the best treatment for blisters? Your service member may have gone full hua. If you marry them, you may need to educate them to break them out of the mindset the combat medic put them in. It'll be important for them to seek more appropriate medical care and have their injuries properly documented. So when it's time for them to get out of the military, it'll be easier to get VA disability ratings. Does your service member insist on buying a house at every duty station? Buying real estate at different locations isn't necessarily bad, but do they want to buy each house with a 0 down VA loan? Do they insist on buying a house regardless of location or how the market is in that area? This could be a big red flag. You should consider having some serious conversations about financial plans for the future. Does your service member act like they're on duty 24/7? Does your service member talk to you in jargon as if you're in the military too? Do they wear a uniform t-shirt on the weekends? Do they wear their baseball cap like they wear their cover in uniform? If your service member is the type who can't seem to switch off when they're off duty, You might want to exercise caution. Your service member may have gone full hua, and it can be stressful to be around someone who is full hua. There you have it. Things you should know before marrying a service member. If one or more of these apply, you should probably give it some serious thought and reflection before you sign the dotted line. I hope this has been helpful, and I'll see you next time.